Hey, Cassie, can you see that?
I
Yeah, we can
can.
see it.
I'm hoping we have Assemblymember Friedman with us.
I do not see Laura yet.
I don't see her yet.
Well, it's normal for the honoree to kind of just pop in whenever.
Make a dramatic entrance. That's
Yes,
true.
absolutely.
That's very true.
Does someone have her number that they can text her maybe?
I'm going to text Julie right now.
Okay.
And generally, people like Assemblymember Friedman clones herself to be everywhere at once. So we'll see if this is the real version of her.
Way to put her on the spot, Cassie. Put her on the spot.
I just am always amazed how some of these public figures are everywhere, just every event, giving out awards everywhere, supporting community. That's why she's getting the award.
That's exactly why. Well, we've still got a couple minutes here before game time. Julie's on it. So Julie's contacting her staff. And for those of you that are with us already, hopefully you can enjoy our moderately witty banter until...
Oh, I didn't know I had to work on that.
Assembly. You absolutely have to work on it, Cassie. I know I have to work on it.
I hadn't planned an act ahead of time. Although, look at the poppies behind me. That is what is beautiful.
Yeah, I like the poppy background. It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you knew what I would choose. That's why you threw it in there, right?
It's all Farah on the backgrounds. She put the backgrounds together.
Well, Farah knew what I would choose. She was like, I need to pick something for Cassie.
I'm not going to lie, Cassie, that was exactly what happened. I'm like, no joke. I actually was like, Cassie needs a background.
Cool. Yeah. There she is.
Yay.
There she is.
Hello, hello.
Hello. And your audio's connected. Even better. How are you today, Laura?
I'm great. How are you? It's nice to see you. Thank you for this. I was really surprised, really honored of all the groups. This is really one of my favorite. Thank you.
Oh.
We know that, I had the pleasure of speaking with you in January. You may or may not remember at an affordable housing development where we did a little presentation.
Yeah.
Within just a few minutes of speaking with you, I knew you were one of us. This is a fellow green building nerd that I can deal with right here. This is one of our people. So happy to give you the honor. I'm actually going to let Cassie formally introduce you once we go live here, which we may already be live.
Hi, Laura.
But we're going to give it another
Hi.
minute.
How are you, Cassie?
I'm doing really good.
this.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was just right before you got on. I was just saying, well, I'm not sure which copy of Assemblymember Friedman we'll be getting today, since you have to be at so many places. And over the years that I've known you, you've been everywhere. Where the community is doing amazing things, garden tours, giving out awards, all of it. So it is.
Well, thanks. That's really sweet of you. Today has been a very busy day. I have to say, this is probably my 7th or 8th Zoom call today. It's just been nonstop. It's the time of year, the kind of the end of the year crunch. And then my daughter has got a couple of friends coming over to swim. We have a little cohort of 5 kids that she is able to play with.
Yes.
We could have limited her universe to 5 kids, and they're all coming over for dinner, for
nice.
pizza and swimming.
That's a busy day. That's a busy day right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good. It's all good.
Well, this is a good way to bookend it.
Yes, for sure.
Did you get your physical award? That's my next question. Did you get? Yes.
It's disappearing for some reason. I don't know.
Because of the virtual background, it thinks it's behind you.
That's so weird. There, maybe if I...
No, it still thinks it's virtual. It is kind of funny. Probably because it's flat.
Be something about the color.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and get started, because I know we're live now, and it's too bad we can't see the award. Just so you know, since we're live, I'll just share this. It's sustainably harvested wood from a downed tree here in LA, and I believe it's black walnut. So Angel City Lumber put those awards together for us, and then we have it laser engraved. But,
there you go.
They are beautiful. And when I took it out of the box, the whole room smelled like a lumber yard, but in a good way. In a good way.
I would actually appreciate some of that smell right now. It's a nice smell, actually.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going to use that as sort of our unofficial introduction. I want to, first of all, just say that we're delighted this year to really introduce our 2020 Municipal Green Building Conference and Expo elected official of the year. But before we do that, I would like to introduce Cassie Ayogi from our board. She's the president and founder of Form LA Landscaping, and a delightful individual to both work with and a real leader in our community. She's really one of the most passionate members of our board, and I've been really fortunate to be able to work with her in that capacity. So with that, Cassie, I'll hand it over to you.
Oh, thanks, Ben. I'm so happy to have you here, Laura. Laura Friedman is being recognized for her ongoing work on behalf of the environment, and specifically the green building movement, which is what we're all about, including her focus on water quality, energy efficiency, homelessness, affordable housing, and wildlife. Laura Friedman was elected to the California State Assembly in November of 2016 to represent the 43rd Assembly District. Laura's legislative work is focused in three primary areas: addressing the housing affordability and homelessness crisis, combating climate change, and protecting vulnerable communities. During her time in the Assembly, Laura has secured $20 million in funding for the completion of the Glendale Riverwalk project, and authored a package of bills to create new avenues for communities to tackle the affordable housing crisis, encourage water conservation, strengthen environmental sustainability, protect communities against devastating wildfires, improve access to higher education and healthcare, and ensure that California's foster youth have the support that they need as they transition to adulthood. This is quite a list, and we thank you so much for your work, and you clearly work hard for it.
Thank you. I really am very honored to receive this award. The Green Building Council means a lot to me, and the work you do has been very instrumental, actually, in my goals and the work that I do. So I see us very much as a partner in this. I certainly share your chapter's goal of transforming Southern California into a more sustainable region. The development of the LEED standards by MGBCE has shown what's possible in terms of sustainable design and construction and operation of buildings and homes and neighborhoods. And I think that we're only now starting to realize how much buildings themselves contribute to sustainability and to climate. And even during COVID, there's been a lot of talk about the design of buildings and how that figures into public health. And certainly that's been a focus of a lot of the work of the, of your membership and of LEED itself and of Cal Building, is to make buildings not just greener for the planet, but healthier for individuals. And I really appreciate that. And I think that this pandemic is really an opportunity to showcase that work. And your local chapter's work, I know, has also focused on building decarb and green schools, and also promoting women in the industry, which I very much appreciate as a woman in politics, is seeing more women involved in building in general, in architecture and design, and in sustainability work. And also your work on protecting vulnerable communities is so important right now as we make policies and try to think about who's been recognized in policies and who's been left out. And watching the environmental justice community really grow as a movement and become more active fits in very nicely with the work that you're doing as well. I also just wanted to take the opportunity, just to plug some of my own work, if that's okay, because it's important that I work with your members, and that, that this is an area I'm interested in, so that when you guys have great ideas, you bring them to me so that I can turn them into legislation and into policy. Last year, I worked on, I authored AB 3232, which required the Energy Commission to do two things: to develop a plan to ensure that all new buildings be zero emission in the near future, and also to come up with strategies to achieve a 50% goal in our existing building stock, 50% goal of less emissions by 2030. So we're talking about electrification, but also all kinds of other strategies to look at the emissions from our buildings, since we now, are understanding that buildings are probably only second maybe to transportation in terms of emissions in California. So the draft plan and strategies are going to be released by the end of the year, and I look forward to reviewing them, but also seeing what else we need to implement, which is where all of you come in terms of your recommendations. And that's something where I could certainly use your expertise and your input. Now, I know today's conference is about equity. Is important also that we think about as we're developing policies, as proposals to make buildings and communities more sustainable sometimes seem to collide with our efforts to make housing affordable. So those also includes efforts to encourage home building around transit, to discourage buildings in at-risk areas, and to mandate energy efficiency upgrades, which help tenants and residents as well as builders. And these are all issues that I'm currently involved in Sacramento. I can also tell you just from my work that there's a lot of wide public support at a high level for aggressive action on climate change. And as we see what's happening now across the state with these tragic fires, people are starting to understand that this is not normal in terms of California's history, that these are climate fires, that they're getting worse, that our temperatures are getting worse. And, translating that into policy is something that we hear about now from a lot of our constituents and from residents. So there are very complex trade-offs when we talk about costs. And we really need to take a very holistic look at what cost really means in a changing climate, and a climate that's changing because of us, because of what we do. All of our efforts to transition to clean energy and a clean energy economy need to be sensitive to vulnerable communities and consumer costs and impacts on jobs and existing industries. But we also need to remember that those costs certainly dwarf in terms of what we're seeing now with the impacts of global warming. So those are really all the comments I have, but I really just again wanted to thank you, because this award means a lot to me. It really is a recognition of the work that we've been doing. And I don't want to say me, because it's really my office, my committee. I chair natural resources, your work, and bringing all of that together as policy. And to me, really setting the stage for what the work that we'll do. Hopefully, if I can stay in the legislature for 8 more years, we can just keep building and building and building on all of this. So again, thanks for all of your work, your partnership, and I can't wait to see what we accomplish next.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you for your service. Do you mind if I maybe go off script here and ask
yeah, I don't even know that there's a script, so I appreciate
there is no script, and if there was, we've covered most of it at this point. But I just want to say I think there's a lot we can do together in this region, and even thinking about some of the work that Cassie and I have done this year to really look at how can we bring the green building and sustainability community really into the fold in terms of making them more aware of strategies to reduce and mitigate fire risk when they're looking at design, both on a building level, a community level, and a landscape level, because we think that the sustainability green building community is a great community to really bring that message to bear, because it should be part of sustainability. It should be part of resilience here in our communities. And then, this year, one of my main goals has really been to start building an advocacy muscle for us. We didn't really have one much in the past, and we're on our way. And so we really want to try to get involved as the coming year approaches, and what can we do in 2021 around helping to advance issues around green buildings, and would love to work closer with your office to try to do that.
Absolutely. And we have 2 bills that are moving through the legislature right now dealing with wildfires. One of them has to do with dispensable space. The other one deals with hazard maps and really is an attempt to get communities to look at reducing risk on a community level, and with the goal of being able to affect their hazard rating, which would help with insurance and whatnot. But the building strategies are really important, certainly in that respect, because you know, you're only as strong in your community as the weakest link when it comes to fire, and you know, reducing the risk of fire, you know, devastating areas. And that's where you all can really come in and bring wildfire into the green building fold as part of that, you know, in terms of building materials, in terms of even the materials that are used with, you know, manufactured timber, and using what's right now scrap on the forest floor that contributes to this wildfire risk. Being able to take smaller trees from manufactured timber used in buildings is also a way to help make the forests themselves more resilient by creating a market for those materials. There's a lot of tie-ins here with sustainability. And you know, I absolutely applaud your thinking more about how to incorporate wildfire, you know, into the sustainability models. I think that's super important. At first I've heard of it. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. And you know, the other item which you touched on, which I think is really important, is just clearly the issue of occupant health right now, and people being more aware of their environments in ways that they haven't been in the past. We launched a Healthy Building Alliance in June. That's really a commitment to 5 simple principles around building health, because we felt there really needed to be a gateway for people to engage in that conversation. And you know, not everyone can get a healthy building certification. It's expensive, it's time consuming. That doesn't mean that everyone shouldn't have a framework to look at the health of their building, whether that's their air quality, their materials, their you know, cleaning supplies, whatever it might be. And so would love to, you know, continue that conversation with you in your office, and you know, how we can work to really make this a more sustainable region for all. And this award is well deserved. We appreciate all your hard work.
Yeah.
We look forward to speaking again with you soon and seeing what you'll continue to do from here on out.
Thank you again. This really means a lot to me, and really appreciate it. I'm deeply touched. So thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Laura.
you. We hope you enjoy your pool party and the pizza with a bunch of little girls this evening. That's important also. That's very important.
Yeah, and again, not a bunch. These are, you know, a couple of little kids that we cohort with. So
You're
we're not
potting.
having
We get it.
pod.
You're potting. Everyone's potting.
We
Yes.
get the pod.
Okay, thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.